My amp karma is strong. Someone gave this to me yesterday. And the funny thing is, about a month ago, someone gave me a pristine cabinet for this very creature. Apparently it was sitting in a gentleman's barn. His cabinet was riddled with termites, and so a fan of mine ended up with this mostly 99% original, pristine GA-20 from 1966. And I'm not kidding, it has the longest power cord in history. It's 25 feet. And look at that death cap. Someone disconnected that. Geez, what could I use that for? I like the wiring for the 25-foot power cord. At least it's three-way, even though it's wired incorrectly. 6066, 1966. Pristine rat's nest. Yeah. This will be a fun one. Let me flip it over so you can take a look at the front. So here's the front. No knobs. And in really nice shape. RVT GA-20. It's got reverb, tremolo, everything you could want. And someone was thoughtful enough to write down the names of the tubes here. Nice tubes, missing a few, but don't worry, I have them somewhere in my hoard. Got all original transformers from '66. There's your little dinky output transformer. I think one of there is that a, yeah, that's a, I think that's, wait a minute. I think that's the output transformer, and this is maybe a choke and a reverb transformer. I'm pretty sure that's what that is. And one RCA and one foot pedal switch, I believe, with the wires hacked. That'll be fun. All right, nice new project. Here's why you never just fire up an old unknown amp that you first got. Just plug it in and see what happens. This is a 22 UF at 500 volt ESR reading. And look at this ESR reading on this cap. They all read like this. They're absolutely non-functioning. Nice. And you gotta love that repair. The nice bread sealer. Nice bread package bag sealer. Gotta love that. See, it's flapping. Flapping! Okay, so I got the AC wiring corrected from this 60s. So the black comes in goes to the fuse. From the tip of the fuse, it goes over to the left side of this switch, which I replaced the rotary switch. The rotary switch was just too funky and weird, wasn't working right, it was frozen up. So it goes to that side, and then from that side of the switch, 1/2 of the 110 light bulb goes over to the little terminal board here, connects to the black on the transformer. The white goes to the other half of that 110 volt light bulb and returns back to the white side of the transformer. And we have power and 0 glowing. Alrighty, onward. So here's the first firecracker cap replacement, and I replaced that 20 at 25 with a 25 at 25. That was lurking under there. So that looking good. And the second firecracker cap replaced. Nice. Okay, so I'm gonna fire this up. I got tubes in it. All good tubes. Now bear in mind, this came to me from a barn. The cabinet was destroyed by rats and termites. So wonder they didn't get any of these wires. I'm gonna just fire it up and see what happens. I got it in my current limiter. So the light goes on. There's no draw of current to speak of. And I've got the volume. Got all the volume control turned up. I am getting some sound out of it. Let me try a different channel. Okay, so it's a little bit of buzzing in the speakers, and that's about it. So it's time to go and check some voltages. See what's going on. Bear in mind, this schematic doesn't match this one much. There's a lot of things missing, so I'm kind of on a wing and a prayer here. So I've got no sound coming out of this Minuteman, and I've been tracing it using the my sound generator and my scope, and I get sound going right to pin 2. That's the grid of V5. When I go to pin 1, which is the plate right there, I get nothing, and I got no voltage there, and that's that right there, going to this some kind of this is called a driver transformer. I've been following this schematic, and in this Minuteman, and this tone sucking network is not here, but this tone sucking network is here. Interesting. So yeah, I'm trying to get this sound to go through to here, and it's stopping right here. Okay, so I got this Hammond transformer to replace the one that's bad in my Minuteman, and I just thought I'd wire it up first and see if it actually is the problem. I'm pretty convinced it is. But here's all the wires going where they're supposed to go. I got my signal generator going, and I got it plugged into my current limiter, so I'm going to plug this in now and see if I get sound. Here we go. Lights on, no glow. And look at that. We have contact, ladies and gentlemen. Gibson's production is not the greatest design. It's all hidden under the board, so I'm just going to have to drill that out and then just put some sheet metal screws in there. Or unsolder all the wires to lift the board out so I can put some nuts in there. After much screaming and cursing and praying, I even sacrificed my best bull. I've got this securely screwed onto the chassis. And here's the new wires grafted in and ready to go to their respective positions. Okay, I've got the new transformer. It's like a phase inverter transformer. Got it wired in, and I actually put a rubber grommet there where there was none. And I've checked the voltages. All the high voltages are regular and good, so I'm going to pop some tubes in here and test
here we
my
go
work
one
so
more
far.
time.
Got that going, and I'm plugging in. Light comes on, no glow. Got it in the, oh, there it goes. Got some crackles. Okay, trying to decipher this. What I got here was no foot switch and just the wire chopped off. And I was looking at this schematic trying to decipher how to make the reverb work, because there's not two jacks. I got to do a little research on that and diagnose it. But I did find out that if you cross the red and the black together, you get a tremolo. Here's the speed. And intensity. They call it depth and frequency. It's working. Maybe could be stronger. I have to research that.
I don't think it's time
Onward.
to get to work on
This nice cabinet that came to me with no baffle. Here's one of my patrons, Joe. Thank you again. He's the one that actually donated this. First step in the baffle is you cut a piece of plywood to fit. And then I drilled the holes for the screws. Here's my rig for cutting a 12-inch hole. Bolt the saber saw in there, or whatever you call that thing. And you drill one little hole right on the edge. It's an 11.5-inch circle. And it's my Acme portable hole producer. I believe the key to this is going to be a very thin blade and very slow movement around. Pausing to tighten this. Perfect holes every time. Look at that. I didn't do any filing or anything. Another fine product from Acme. Almost as good as the Acme pick extractor. Hey, I've got my screws into the baffle board, and I got them epoxied. Nice green wood, huh?
epoxy those in there. And let that set up, and I'm going to put some grill cloth on there. And here it is all ready for the grill cloth. And there it is. Not too bad. I'm going to hit it with a hairdryer. Having a little trouble getting the reverb working. This tank in here is a Sound Enhancements Incorporated 9EB2A1B. I don't know if that's an Accutronics number. Cary, Illinois. Well, here's the arrangement for getting the reverb. Check it out. Right here, reverb. Now that I've got this dialed in and working, I'm going to follow some Uncle Doug recommendations here to improve the tone of this. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to completely remove this, and I'm going to mirror that in both channels here. I'm going to remove this. For starters, I'm going to change this here to 1 meg, and I'm going to up this to a 25 at 25, this cap. It's a measly 5, so I'm going to start with those changes. Okay, and here's the 1 meg and the 25 at 25, replacing the original components. One last look at what I've replaced. So I put in some 25 at 25 electrolytics there. Here's one there. New filter caps. What else? Let's see. A few of the pots have been replaced. This thing was super neglected outside, and some of these pots were just frozen, or I just didn't feel like taking them apart and messing with them and trying to put them back together per Uncle Doug. So I slapped some new pots in there, and they work great. Also got a foot switch that was in my stash, wired up to the original jack, and got a speaker that kicks butt. Replaced the grill cloth and the front panel, and also new reverb wires. So I'm gonna do a little bias tech on this and then button it up. Once again, thanks to Guitar Center in Indianapolis for giving me this Compu bias. I've used a few of these and they seem to really not work very well. They crap out easily. Just not a huge fan of them. But anyways, let's see if this one works. I got it hooked up. The reason I'm using it is because of these octal sockets, which I don't have for my other bias meter. Let's plug it in and see what it goes to. Okay, I got it fired up, and I'm going to use this to match the power tubes, providing the thing even works. There, it looks like the plate voltage is going up, and yeah. Man, that's a nicely matched set right there. Jeez. That's like so nice. I'm not touching a thing there. That's a little low on the wattage. What I meant to say is it's slightly high in the voltage, but it's so close. EL84, which is what these are, 7189s, I think, 6BQ5, etc. So many names for this tube. It's setting right at 10 watts, and they're so well matched. I'm not going to mess with anything. I'm gonna call this done and put it back together and do a sound check. All right, some improvements. Once again, nice vintage tubes, nice match set of 7591, I believe they are, from the 1960 or 61. A modern big boy Celestion 12. Nice. I put some keepers there, for the cables, and got some tube shields here, a few different tube shields. I have mixed feelings. I use them more than not. I don't know, some people hate them. I kind of think if there's a, if they're there for a reason, so I kind of use them. If the tube socket is all good, there's a mismatched set, huh? But oh well, all vintage tubes. Here's the parts that snagged out of there. All non-functioning. Maybe the caps are out of spec, but I ditched them. So here's a sound check. But before I do the sound check, I'd like to thank one more time Gary Caddy for the body and Joseph Bordeaux for the head of this amp. They just kind of, karma just kind of brought these two things together to me, and I put it together, fixed it, put it together. For this sound check, I'm using this landfill rescue once again. That I made the neck for, and I'm gonna do a few little sound tests at different settings here. Alrighty. So this is at the neck pickup, and loudness, treble, bass are all up about halfway, and no reverb or tremolo. This thing really has some power to it. This is the bridge. Crisp. So during the high volume part of my sound check, I had this really crazy rattle going on. It sounded like a blown speaker. So I investigated and found out that one of the power tubes had some internal mechanisms that were causing the rattle at high volume. It was really ugly. So I got another tube, put it in there,
and it seems to have completely fixed it. So let me do a little bit more sound testing here. So here it is with the bass and treble all the way up, and the loudness about halfway, and the bass acts as a adds quite a bit of volume to it. So anyway, here it is. So the rattle's completely gone. Okay, so I've activated the reverb. It's about halfway up. The reverb, there's plenty of reverb. So yeah, and I turned the volume back down a little bit. So here we go. Here's the reverb. The depth all the way up on the tremolo, and the frequency about a third of the way up. Very, very nice reverb and tremolo on this thing. Well, that just about wraps up this repair, restore, modification, etc., of this very cool Gibson 1966 GA-20 RVT, aka the Minuteman, period. I want to take the time to thank again Joseph Bordeaux for the head and Gary Caddy for the cabinet, and also all the guys that helped me become better at this: Bill Odell, Mark Piet, Todd Sims, and all the guys on the forums. Thanks for watching. Hope this helps.